Hello, everyone, and welcome to the November 2020 Fujitsu webcast on retail in-store fulfillment. Today, we'll spend some time walking you through the details of a brand new solution built exclusively by Fujitsu America and delivered as a SaaS solution on Salesforce's Consumer Goods Cloud. This webcast will be posted on our website and through our social media channels. I'll begin by introducing everyone. My name is Carson Scherer, and I lead Vertical Analyst Relations at Fujitsu, with retail being a core focus, and I'll be moderating today's session. Joining us are our distinguished partner from Salesforce, Gavin Frank, Senior Director of Retail and Consumer Goods Global Solutions and Ecosystem, as well as two of the leaders at Fujitsu who drove the development of the in-store fulfillment solution we'll be focusing on today. Paul Burrell, Senior Director of Retail Industry Consulting at Fujitsu America, and Pracha, who also leads our Salesforce practice at Fujitsu America. At this point in 2020, it's certainly not news that the COVID-19 global pandemic has had a tremendous impact across industries and that those challenges continue to evolve over time. At an industry level, retail has been hit particularly hard. We've seen everything from mandatory shutdowns, volatile sales in either direction, inventory shortages, research shortages, and that's just within the retailer. Equally impactful, we've seen a widening set of customer expectations around shopping safety, experience, fulfillment, and other things. Paul, let me start with you. You've been in this industry for over 30 years, so you've seen a thing or two. How, from your insider's perspective, has COVID affected retail?
Thank you, Karsten. Well, let's face it, the past 8 months haven't been easy for anyone. Inside the retail industry, virtually overnight, problems erupted at every level, and retailers were left scrambling to react. They had an enormous number of critical issues to deal with almost immediately. For example, in the retail essentials businesses, stores were stripped of entire classes of products overnight. And in the non-essential retail businesses, they saw their customer traffic withered to nothing. And now, as we approach the winter of 2020, nobody really knows what's going to happen next, even though the retail holiday season is already upon us. Many retailers have already made plans to rely much more heavily on their buy online, pick up in store operation, and that includes curbside pickup, of course, to carry the load for the company, for all the order fulfillments. So for the remainder of this year, and probably well into 2021, e-commerce, D2C fulfillment, new micro fulfillment center operations, and dark store fulfillment operations will all be very important factors to deliver the online orders, retain and attract customers, make the sales numbers for the last quarter of the year, as well as make them for the whole year. Right now, for the most part, the focus is on the existing open store fulfillment processes, of course, and how to optimize those particular operations. These are all top priorities, of course, right now, because by far the store is still the largest fulfillment channel in retail. So now, why don't we look at some of the more market-specific challenges that we'll show on the next slide. Needless to say, we all know that the grocery industry operates on razor-thin margins. There was already a shift to online grocery shopping in North America well before COVID-19 arrived. That entire movement has been heating up for the past few years. And as many retailers, especially in the grocery segment, have been reporting net margin losses for these type of operations when filling online orders. Some of the larger grocery retailers like Kroger and Walmart, for example, they were already using new technology solutions and trying to minimize the costs and try to optimize their in-store fulfillment processes. So, Kroger and Walmart, of course, they'd already developed their own mobile solutions. They had built custom applications. They had dedicated order picking teams. They had very, very, well-developed quality control processes. They had resources allocated for those and so forth. But while those retailers were making headway on optimizing BOPIS order fulfillment, a lot of others just simply weren't. Unfortunately, many other retailers just simply have been lagging. They're trying to figure out how to fulfill online grocery orders at lower cost and do so effectively, but they're doing it by adapting legacy systems in most cases. And those systems really were never designed to support BOPIS fulfillment. For some of the regional grocers, for example, they simply didn't have the resources to focus on BOPIS improvement. So they've been kind of limping along for a while, trying to pull everything together. Now, as you can see in this slide, suboptimized BOPIS operations could end up costing grocers between 50 and 80 basis points of overall margin over the next 3 to 5 years. That's a massive hit. And as the grocers that have decided to execute BOPIS order picking, but don't charge for curbside pickup fees, they may already be losing between 11 and 15 basis points of margin to their operating margin. So what's that mean? According to Bain, is that those grocers they're already losing money on every curbside order that they're filling today, and that's truly something that can't continue. And I kind of look at it in another light. We should ask ourselves, how long will this elevated shift to curbside pickup last in the long run after COVID-19? I think the answer is a lot of the industry analysts have varied opinions, but most agree that the historical trend lines for curbside adoption have jumped upward about 5 to 9% as a function of COVID-19, and they're predicting that the jump's going to track higher overall over the next 5 years. And that's really because more customers have gotten accustomed to the convenience as well now as the safety of curbside pickup. So they think that trend will continue. So, the in-store fulfillment challenge, because it's amplified right now, we're trying to figure out, how do you fill these growing number of online orders and still maintain your margins? And even in the best case scenarios today, they still may ending up being lower profit margin transactions. Some of them will just be breaking even at the moment. Of course, that outcome's not going to sit well, of course, with the grocery leadership teams, the owners, and of course, the stockholders. So now let's focus on BOPIS execution on the next slide. Okay, and as we see in this slide, there really are 3 BOPIS imperatives. The first, all of your direct and indirect competitors are offering BOPIS service, so pretty much you have to too. 2, customer expectations have now been set for fast and accurate and in-store fulfillment services that are free in many cases for online shopping. 3rd, automation is now essential and a key component to reduce fulfillment time, reduce picking errors, and get BOPIS operations firmly at least into a break-even position, if not heading towards operational profitability. And while many retailers have indeed implemented an in-store fulfillment process, many are still very immature. In fact, some of them are even still paper-based. And to that point, some of companies are still printing out BOPIS orders on receipt printers, for example, and the store associates use those to go fill orders and pick orders with. Some retailers have legacy apps that at best are stopgap solutions. They were never really designed for BOPIS or any form of long-term portability strategy using, for example, mobility technology for BOPIS execution. So my view is that we're beginning to now enter what I'm going to call as the 2nd generation of BOPIS operation. Retailers are starting to research for new products and looking for new solutions that are better. They're looking for the right mix of technology solutions and to help them address the rising volumes of BOPIS orders that they're looking at down the road. So as we move into the 4th quarter of 2020 and of course the holiday season, I think we're about to see how well they've done so far. So clearly, rapid adaptation, automation, process management, and new technology implementation are going to be a really big part of any successful solution moving into the future. Karsten?
Thanks, Paul. It's clear, and many have made this observation over the course of the last year, that the pandemic is a forcing function accelerating change that was really already happening in the retail industry already. In this context, where does Fujitsu stand? How are we helping retailers address the BOPIS execution challenge?
Yeah, great question, Karsten. So at Fujitsu, we're watching the market movements and we're listening to the analyst reports, talking to customers, of course. We were doing that long before COVID arrived. We started thinking about ways to address in-store fulfillment optimization as far back as early 2019. In fact, we already had several different mobility solutions in the marketplace. Most were designed for in-store operations. For many years, they've been out, but most were associated with transacting tasks like mobile POS, for example, not really the fulfillment tasks for BOPIS orders. So even that far back, we started looking at potential platforms that had the ability to address in-store tasking, and eventually took a look at Salesforce's new Consumer Goods Cloud. And even though CG Cloud is intended for vendor field merchandisers or contractors, we immediately realized that CG Cloud capabilities could be refined to work for retail store teams, to work tasks associated with BOPIS for in-store fulfillment, for example. So, after a few internal review sessions, we decided to go ahead and start working on our storyboards, the workflows, to see if we could find any reason CG Cloud would not be a good fit. And really in the end, CG Cloud had the foundation needed, including task optimization, capacity planning, had the routing and scheduling that we needed, and store information or communications. So much of what we needed was fundamentally already there. And from a business value proposition position, we used our own experience of working with Salesforce for many, many years now to gauge the improvements that should be achievable, and compared to what basically amounts to manual processes in the field today, how those could be improved and automated. So Karsten, we ended up quantifying roughly how much time and cost we could recover using CG Cloud, as well as how much we can improve pick accuracy.
Thank you, Paul. So after you selected Salesforce CG Cloud as your platform for this effort, what were your next steps?
So then we created a process map with all the players or stakeholders involved, and the task that they had to accomplish, the order in which the tasks had to happen, etc. We broke the process down into 3 basic functions in the store: optimization, execution, and verification. And those are shown here in the shaded boxes. Because we're using CG Cloud and Salesforce Lightning to build the workflows, we can easily create new roles, change those roles. We can resequence tasks any way we like very quickly and effectively. But for today, we've kind of single-threaded an order handling process, pretty much just to make it easier for the listeners to understand and see what we built. So keep in mind that this app is easily configurable for, let's say, batch picking, because we can aggregate all the items, for example, across multiple orders and form those into a single pick stream. We can then associate each one of those items to an order bin when they're selected and put away. And finally, we added timers to the pick process, which we think was absolutely critical to be able to manage the application long term. So we can capture a lot of data on the picker's performance, on their pick route times, and the overall task efficiency as they're working through the process. Karsten?
Thank you, Paul. That was interesting insight into how you and the team recognized a need in retail and put together the partnership to offer a solution towards it. So why don't we take a look at the in-store fulfillment solution and some of the details underneath it. And so, Prashar, let me ask you, let's shift to you. Tell us about the architecture that supports this solution and how you and your team went about creating it.
Sure, Carson. We all know that pandemic has accelerated the move to the digital transformation, focusing on employee and customer experience. Today's companies realize that the product or services delivery needs to be efficient, but at the same time, making the overall experience easier for the consumers. And that is why for this entire solution, we have chosen Salesforce Consumer Goods Cloud platform, a low-code application platform which has a multi-tenant cloud architecture, which will enable and provide a consistent look and feel across multiple devices, so easier for adoption. Salesforce's Consumer Goods Cloud is an API-ready platform. And based on that, our technical teams work closely with Paul's industry specialist team to map business use cases to underlying features and functions of the platform. The result is a solution that makes the operation efficient and smarter. It's a highly scalable solution that our customers can deploy quickly within weeks and get started. This means it'll integrate with any e-commerce and order management system as long as they are API enabled. With these integrations in place, consumer can place an online order, choose to pick up an order from a preferred store at a preferred time. The order management system will ensure that the choices given to the consumer are based on the inventory availability. Once the order is placed, it will be pushed via integration into Salesforce Consumer Goods Cloud, and this is where the magic happens. If I can draw your attention towards the right side of the slide now, you'll see we're using Salesforce's Consumer Goods Cloud out-of-the-box functionality, which will help retailers to list their store, products, in-store locations, bin locations, orders, etc. And thanks to the Salesforce's multi-tenant cloud architecture, the solution can be used across multiple stores and in multiple regions. Once we have all this information stored within the system, we are able to use the features and functions of Consumer Goods Cloud to perform automated and intelligent task routing, effective task, product, and store management, which can be used across multiple devices, be it mobile, tablet, or devices. Some of the key features to highlight, and as Paul was saying earlier, are our stop and start timer. Every time a picker CSR picks or ends a task, the date and timestamp are recorded. This data, when collected over a period of time, can be very useful for the retailer to do any sort of capacity planning for various times within the year. Taking it further by looking at historical order trend and based on the time it takes to complete tasks or fulfill an order, store manager can work with area managers to plan for capacity within the store. And this is where the Salesforce Einstein, the AI engine of Salesforce, comes into play, where the system can learn over time, provide recommendations to the store managers, taking the guesswork out of the picture, saving huge amount of time and reducing in-store fulfillment errors. Another important module this platform will provide is, and is currently in the process of being added, is the enablement module. We know companies spend millions of dollars in training and enabling their employees. We plan to make it easier for employees or contractors to be trained and enabled. Our enablement and training module, powered through Salesforce Cloud solution, can not only provide training at any time and anywhere, but also gamify the experience. The result of all of this, used by the retailers to deploy staff efficiently and intelligently, which will play a vital role in reducing pick errors and rework. In addition to these features, there are features and functions like chatbot, self-service portals that can further enhance the employee and even the customer experience. Employees can quickly look up for information by interacting with chatbots. For example, I'm picking order number 604, and the XYZ item is not available on the shelf. And based on this, the chatbot can take the next best action, which is it can notify the store manager for the actions to be taken, but at the same time, if need be, it can also guide the store picker to do the next set of tasks. The self-service portal can also help the store manager and customers connect when on various alternative options. Without the need for a phone call, if the store manager runs into an issue where the item is damaged that needs to be picked up, but is available in the store manager can quickly provide recommendations for alternatives to the customer. And when the customer gets it, they can use the self-service portal to notify the store manager of their choices. Since the solution is built on #1 CRM platform, the solution can use all of the data it collects and use it to determine customers' buying habits and demands. This sort of data can be used to integrate with Marketing Cloud to do context and target-based marketing, which will help in customer retention, positively influence loyalty, and increase sales. At Fujitsu, we have more than 35 years of retail industry experience. We are building many solutions that will bring advanced digital commerce capabilities to our retailers, and this solution does exactly that. This is a scalable and a modular solution that can help retailers in current market situations, enhancing customer experience in a cost-effective manner.
Thanks, Parashar. What you've said about the pandemic reinforced need for heightened agility, a better view into end-to-end process, and creating that connective tissue between the often siloed functions, I think mirrors very much the experience that most retailers have had this year. So far, we've seen the thinking behind the in-store fulfillment solution. If there's one thing we've learned so far this year, it's that PowerPoint doesn't always equal reality. So can you show us what it looks like in practice?
Thank you, Carson. Yeah, would love to show the demo what the application looks like for our viewers. And before we get into it, I just wanted to give everybody a summary of what they're going to see today and what you're seeing in front of the screen right now. So the scenarios we're going to cover today are basically a customer who has placed an order through an e-commerce platform, chooses a particular store and chooses a preferred time for pickup. That order goes to the order management system and goes into the Salesforce Consumer Goods Cloud, where it has already been orchestrated for a picker to pick those items in the store. Through the demo, we'll see the journey of how that order processes further. And in that scenario, we're also going to see that certain items are pick blocked because even though it showed the items available for the customer, when the picker goes to pick them up, it's probably damaged. So what happens then, and how does a store manager get involved, is what you're going to see today. So based on that, the screens you're seeing in front of you right now are mobile screens on the left-hand side that the pickers use, and you're seeing a desktop or a tablet version of what a store manager will use to identify issues and resolve them. With that said, I'll turn it over to my colleague, Nitin Garg, who has been the brains in designing and developing this application. So over to you, Nitin.
Thank you, Parashar, for the introduction and the background on the solution we have here. What I'm doing is I'm actually logged in as the picker who has been assigned one of the orders for picking in the store, and his name is Stephen Cooper. So let me actually log that and launch the solution on my mobile device. And as you could see, the solution is loading up, and I actually land on the BOPIS tasks, right? So let me just confirm the information here. It says Stephen Cooper, who is the picker, who is logging in on the application. And at this time, I see there is a few notifications which I have received on my device. And if I click on that, it says there's a few tasks which have been assigned to pick products on the BOPIS order. So let me go back. And then I'm looking at the BOPIS tasks, right? The tasks are grouped in 3 different categories according to the due date. It's today's, it's overdue tasks. And then at the same time, I also see all the open tasks, right? So if I click on view more, of course, that will show me all the information. And I'm going to click and start picking up my products from the one which is right here, which is due the earliest. And when I go into the details of the task, it basically shows me all the information around what am I expected to do on that order. It's for a customer named Margaret James, as I could see. The due date on the task shows as November 6th. And if I scroll down a little bit more, if depending on whether I'm new to the process or something, there is also a task description, which actually shows the picker on the solution, right? What is it that they are expected to do? And if I scroll down further, I can see that there is a timer section, which actually is going to be capturing the time when the picker is out on the store shelf to pick up the products, and then when they come back and end the task. So it's going to be an important store metrics as well. So at this time, Stephen is going to accept this task. They're going to go into the shelf and then start picking up these products, right? So I'll click on this small gear wrench kind of icon on the top left, which says accept task. So as I do that, the solution is going to take me to the customer order products, right? On the order which the customer has created, I see there are 2 products which they have asked to pick. One is the pack of bagels, and then the other one is a jar of peanut butter. So as a picker, I'm going to click on the first order to get more details. And then I see that this product is available on aisle 3, shelf 5 within the store. There's a quantity of 1 which is asked to be picked up. And then I'm going to click on edit. And as soon as I do that, it asks me to input a few information here, right? So at this time, while I'm doing this all on my mobile device, I'm also navigating my way to the actual store shelf to actually pick up the product, right? So I go into the shelf and I see that there is a quantity of 1 which is available. I'm going to enter it here. And I would be carrying a specific bin where I will be actually capturing and storing the products which I'm picking up. So I'm going to click on that order pick bin, store number 10. And then I need to also specify exactly which bin or a carrying basket I'm going to pick and store the products in. So I'll search for one of the bins available. It shows me 2 options. I'm going to pick bin 2. And then at this point of time, I just verify everything on the order. I see that there's the pack of bagels. It's just 1 quantity. I have picked 1. It's in the same bin. And then I'm going to click on save. So once I do that, it says that the customer order product record was saved here in Salesforce, right? I see that the status on the particular item was pick complete awaiting verification, which also means that at this point of time, the CSR is going to be notified on the order getting complete and coming to their way so that they can verify before handing it over to the customer. I remember that there was another item on this order which I need to pick. So I'll click go back, and then I go to the other item, which is peanut butter. And this is on one of the store shelf based on the inventory information available. And I walk up to that place and I see that this particular item is not available because of whatsoever reason it is, right? So at this time, my pick cannot be completed. I'm pick blocked. So what I will do is I click on edit. I cannot enter anything on pickup quantity, pick location, and bin. I will just mention on a status, I am pick blocked. And then the system is asking for a message like, why is the pick not complete? So I will say no shelf availability. And all I need to do is click save. What it does is it marks that particular customer order product as pick blocked, right? So I click on go back to my tasks. Since my timer was running, I also need to be cognizant of the fact that my timer has to be paused. As soon as I go back to the open list of tasks on that specific order, I also see that there is a new task which is now created, which is on the top here, which is assigned to the store manager. And it says that the BOPIS product pick block does require remediation, and it's also due as of 6th of November. Now, what I need to do at this point of time is I click on this, my particular task, which was in progress now. And then if you click on show more, there is a pause timer option. So I click on pause timer, and it now changes the status of that particular task as waiting on someone else, which is basically the store manager in this case. And I also capture my actual start time on that particular task. All right, so we switch screens now, and then obviously the persona who's involved in this process. So far what we did is we looked at the picker who is actually assigned a task. They picked up one of the products on the order, but then for the other one, they were pick blocked. And it also created a new task for the store manager to actually go and perform the remediation, right? So now what we are looking at is the store manager dashboard, as you could see. And then in the store manager dashboard, I also see that there is some tasks here for the store manager, right? So I look at these, I scroll down my list, and I see that, and let me actually go to the tasks, so get to a more detailed view. So I click on BOPIS tasks. It's a similar kind of screen which the store manager also has, and I look at the open tasks here, and then there it is. I see that there is a particular product which is there, right? And the task was created which required remediation. And I go into the details of that. I see all the open tasks here. Like this. Right, so it says it gives similar to what the picker was seeing. Even for the store manager, it gives a little bit of information on what they need to do, right? So the task description says it all. It's also a task type of product stocking, which actually means that there is something different which the store manager needs to do, right? So at this point of time, as a store manager, what I will do is, again, my metrics is also being counted and calculated. So I will click on accept task on the solution, and which actually takes me to the task page. And then what I will do is at this point of time, I'll do whatever I need to do in order to remediate, stock up the product, and make it available on the shelf, right? As I could see that the task time is being calculated for me as well. And at some point of time, once I'm done, I will click on this task and kind of end task since I'm done with that. When I do end task, it asks me for a few information, right? I can actually put some comments, or I can mention some other information, and I'll click on save. As soon as the store manager marks their particular remediation task as complete, what it does is the solution sends a notification to the picker who was actually picking up the case. In this case, it was Stephen Cooper. Stephen Cooper is going to get a notification at their end on their device that now that remediation is done, and then you can go back and continue picking up your tasks. At the same time, they will also change the status of that task which was assigned to Stephen Cooper to now ready to continue on that. So with all that notification, Stephen Cooper can actually make their way into the store. They can complete their pick and then get these products ready for the CSR to be verified. So CSR, now the next persona in the list is CSR. We're not going to show the screen for CSR because it's exactly the same type of steps which the CSR does as the picker did. Right, they will also go into their mobile view. They will click on accept task, complete the verification, come back, end the task, and that's it. They're done. Since we are looking at the store manager screen right now, there's a few things which I wanted to show you on what store manager can do, right? So let's go back to the BOPIS app page for a store manager. And here I see a dashboard, right? On the dashboard, there is a few charts and graphs which are created, which are, containing the important metrics which a store manager really looks at. So if I click it wide open on the screen, so here's a dashboard which actually shows a summary of all the orders based on the loyalty status of customers placing the pick orders. Some of the orders which are kind of delayed, right? We are also asking, the customers are also able to, identify on what day and what time they will want to pick up the orders. And then based on that, if there is a delay happening, the store manager can actually check and keep a tab on how many tasks are due today and take a necessary action if there is anything which gets delayed. There is a small summary at the middle of the screen which actually shows, how many diamond, platinum, gold, and silver customers are placing orders. Total number of accounts with an order value. It also comes back and shows them, how many store employees are close to capacity based on the capacity planning engine which we have built in as part of the solution here. And at this point of time, they see that there are two store employees who are running close to capacity. So either there are more tasks getting assigned to them, or there's some other problem which the store manager needs to resolve. I go further down, I see the total number of BOPIS tasks which are open and assigned to different resources in the store. I also see the orders by status, right? How many are, in which schedule for pick, how many are pick in progress and ready for pickup. And in that case, if it's ready for pickup and it's not being picked up and it's piling up my inventory at the back, then I need to also notify the customers that, hey customer, please come and pick up your order. Everything is ready. Let's look a little more detail into what other information the store manager sees from the retail store perspective, right? So I click on this retail store tab, and I see that there is a store which I'm a store manager of. I click on that, and I see a lot of information which is associated to the store. So I see that the store has a few in-store locations. I also see that there is a few store employees which are associated. And at this point of time on that level, I can see what is the total task capacity for the store employee and how many tasks are currently open for them. I can also see the store assortment for the products which are available. I can go down and look at the orders in details, how many orders are being placed, what are the delivery status, customer orders. And at some point of time, they will be also able to launch a survey for any completed order picks, and then they can send an invitation directly to the customer. Now, in some of the cases, it's possible that the product is just not available, and then the customer needs to be notified. So the store manager can actually go on the order, and then they can directly send an email to the customer mentioning, that the product is not available, or there's going to be a significant amount of delay or anything like that directly from the solution right here. All right, so now since the picker task has been unblocked, the picker can continue picking up the tasks, and when the picker is done, the CSR can actually also complete their own, verification activity and notify the customer whenever the order is ready for pick. So this summarizes the demonstration at this time from a store manager persona, and I will now hand it over to Parashar.
Thank you, Nitin. I think so that was great. And just to summarize, where you stopped is where the next set of action starts for the picker, who will also get notified saying your pick block is completed. You can go ahead and process further, and they'll be notified on their mobile device to complete that order. And as they finish it, the CSR will get the notification. They can pick up the same mobile device or a mobile device they have and complete the orders over there and make the order ready for pickup by the customer. And I think so that's a really powerful story. And for our viewers, if you don't mind going to the homepage for the store manager, I'd like to also kind of talk about one more thing and tell our viewers about the dashboards and the metrics that you were showing there. I think so that's really, really powerful. And what we are trying to do over here is we're trying to showcase, we have built a canned set of dashboards and reports that we think store managers can use it effectively to manage their day-to-day operations. These are very customizable or configurable. You can pretty much configure them within anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. And the store managers can create their own specific metrics to really track on daily basis. So again, wrapping all of this up, the demo is really powerful. It's very agile, it's very scalable, and we can't wait to try this with our customers and get it in their hands. So with that said, over to you, Carson.
Thank you, Brasher. What can you share with us regarding your future plans for the solution? Paul had mentioned earlier that this is the first version, and although it's undoubtedly powerful, it's also just the beginning. What do you see coming in the future?
Yeah, of course, change is the only constant, Carson. With changing consumer demand and behavior, retailers are required to revisit their business models. However, they will also have to make sure supporting technologies are constantly evolving to support their business models. This is another reason why we chose a platform like Salesforce to build our in-store fulfillment solution. The illustration here shows our in-store fulfillment solution's current and future features based on the business impact. We have developed version 1.0 that is represented in the red dots. These capabilities gives retailers the ability to fulfill BOPIS using automated task management for efficient processing. The proactive automated alerts and notification features takes the guesswork out, but also ensures everyone, including the customer, can be notified at the right time. Retailers can tweak the embedded notification templates as per their changing business needs. With smart capacity planning features, retailer can make sure store associates and CSRs are assigned the right amount of tasks to ensure efficient store operations. A big plus is that the solution is mobile ready. The solution is also API ready and can be integrated with any e-commerce and order management system out there. Our viewers also saw today that there are a number of KPIs and active monitoring dashboards that store managers and headquarters can use to track their operations and drive smart decisions based on that. Now let's look at the purple dots. This is what represents where we are headed next. And the slope of the line begins to ramp up significantly as we stack up more capabilities that will drive even greater business value. As these future features become available, there will be a significant positive change in the value slope when we get into data harvesting, model training, AI, and batch processing of the orders. And all of this is currently in works as of today. With our upcoming training module, retailers can offer training on any device at any time. We think this will play a vital role in cutting the significant cost of training and reducing the pick errors and therefore increasing the bottom line contribution. Some of the future add-ons can be leapfrogged quickly. For example, we have already demonstrated smart locker integrations at NRF 2020, which took place in January this year. Another future add-on will be an enhanced UI. We strongly believe in human-centric design, and that being at the center of realizing the true value add of any offering or solution that we build for our customers to engage with. We already have wireframes ready for the user interface version 2.0. However, we would like to deploy it with a prospective customer. The co-creation approach of Fujitsu ensures that we simplify the process and the UI the right way, so that the users will have less number of clicks and they see the right information on the screen, and in fact needed information on the screen rather than everything else that they can see and will distract them from their daily operations. As a final thought on the roadmap, I would like to highlight that our ability to scale all of this in an agile manner remains at the heart of our vision and strategy, and that's what our consumers will see as they start using the solution.
Thank you, Prasha, for the insight into current capabilities and how Fujitsu plans on building on them as the needs of retail continue to change. I'm going to take the opportunity now to shift to our distinguished guest from Salesforce, Gavin Frank. Gavin, thank you for joining us. What is your take on where the retail industry is going and what the Fujitsu team has shown us today?
Thanks, Carson. When we launched CG Cloud, we set out to deliver an industry standard data model and the ability to help brands and retailers deliver the perfect store. And I believe this in-store fulfillment solution built by Fujitsu on CG Cloud is an extension of that vision. By utilizing CG Cloud and the Salesforce Customer 360 platform at its core, our trusted, intelligent, integrated, and sustainable platform provides the tools that our customers need for success. We can deliver a single source of truth, fast time to value, scalability, and adaptability, and trailblazer success, helping exceed customer expectations. Even now with teams working from anywhere, especially as we navigate living in these unusual times. I really look forward to the collaboration and additional use cases we can tackle together with Fujitsu into the future. Now back to you, Karsten.
Thank you, Gavin, for your perspective. We, of course, appreciate our partnership with Salesforce. We're also just about out of time for this session, so we'll conclude with a few closing thoughts. Parashar, the floor is yours. Bring us home.
Thank you, Carson. In the pre-release version that we have demoed today, we have addressed many of the basic needs of shift-based picking, planning, task allocation and oversight, tracking and communications, and dashboards. All of these features will significantly help the retailers in the upcoming holiday season and provides the future opportunities to expand on the solution for a larger store operations that will significantly expand business value. These are well aligned to our overall digital 360 commerce vision. This solution, as we discussed, has not only been developed based on Fujitsu's retail experience, but also based on interactions with retailers and industry analysts. The solution solves for a critical business problem related to in-store fulfillment, which has become more of a need rather than a want, given where the markets are. Our solution addresses many aspects of order fulfillment lifecycle in stores and influences many personas, from the customer who's placing the order to the store order picker, CSR, and the store manager. This solution can easily be deployed and configured in an agile manner, and most importantly, can be scaled to keep up with the changing business models. Built on Salesforce platform, a low-code application platform, the solution will help retailers make use of features that are deployed by Salesforce 3 times in a year to constantly enhance the platform. So no more waiting for 8 months or more to get a few handful of features rolled out to your stores. Because if a retailer is waiting that long, then their competition has not only caught up with them, but would have acquired some of the market share. The SaaS model makes the speed to market concept a reality with the solution so that the retailers can create a competitive edge in the industry. We are now ready for early customer pilots and trials and look forward to working with our customers on this. Over to you, Carson.
Thank you. Many thanks to everyone for contributing to the session. The same, of course, goes to all of you in the audience for attending our webinar. Our aim is to provide you some insight into how we're addressing today's acute retail challenges. Please feel free to reach out to us at salesforce@fujitsu.com. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions, and you'll also find plenty of additional information at the URL shown here. That's it for today. Thank you again for joining us, and take care.